So in NBA news, the biggest news of the week was the Raptors making some moves. Now, obviously, we're a long way removed from 2019. They're not winning another championship anytime soon. And we're kind of seeing them start to rebuild, tear down the roster, get rid of some of their big pieces. There's been rumors about a Siakam trade, but the big domino that fell before those rumors was the trade of OG Anunoby, Precious Achua, and Malachi Flynn, most notably Anunoby, to the Knicks for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and a second round pick. Obviously, a sign of kind of where the Raptors are going. And we've seen it kind of work out as a little bit of a win-win. Both teams have been playing well since um, players have swapped sides. But what's your kind of initial reaction been to this trade, Simon? And what do you think about it for
Well,
the Raptors and for the
I like most people thought RJ Barrett would be a lot better coming into the NBA, and he just hasn't shown it. Like he's been good at points, bad at others, and I don't hate it because you're sending a Canadian player back to Canada. Maybe that does a little bit to spark their want to be better, and maybe he turns into something good for Toronto. As for the Knicks, they're getting a really good wing defender in Anunoby. That's what he was for the Raptors, and I'm sure he'll continue to be that for the Knicks. So if I'm looking at it on both sides, I don't think, like you said, both teams are honestly winning this one a little bit. Like it's not really a bad pickup from either squad. You're kind of just swapping two players that you're just hoping are going to excel on both sides, for both sides. Like, so I can't say I'm mad at it. If I was a Raptors fan, I don't think I'd be mad at it. If I wasn't a Raptors fan, which I'm not, I wouldn't be mad at it either. Like, I think it's a win-win is kind of where I'd land on it.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing you had to do to rebuild a franchise, right? Because if you're looking at because before tonight, where it's looking like the Raptors are going to lose to the why is Siri popping up there? Get out of there, Siri. Uh, yeah, Yeah, don't interrupt me, Siri. There we go. Anyways, before tonight, where the Raptors look like they're kind of going to get shut out by the Kings, they had won a couple games in a row with Quickly and Barrett on their team, and I don't think the Knicks have lost since they made this trade either. So it does look like a win-win. And for the Raptors, you're kind of just trying to get a little bit younger, right? Quickly being a first-round pick in the 2020 draft, he's only 24 years old and has played um, pretty well for the Raptors so far in the games that he's played. He put up 28 against the Cavs. No, he didn't. Sorry, that's minutes. He put up 14 against the Cavs. Put up 26 against the Grizzlies. I was like, ooh, those look like really good numbers. Um, Only 10 against the Kings, so a little bit of a down night, but has flashed some potential so far. I think it'll be. I think it's the exact kind of trade that both teams need to make, because obviously the Knicks are a lot more of an in a win now mode, and the Raptors are in a that's a retool for the future. And somebody like Quickly, providing potentially a piece of that being a first round talent in the past, and a guy like RJ Barrett kind of being a potential reclamation project. It seems like it'll work out, and I think it'll be interesting to see where things go in terms of a potential Siakam trade down the line for the Raptors, because that's kind of seems to be where things are going.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, one team's getting young, one team's getting better, and I think that's exactly how I describe this trade. I think if I'm the Raptors, I definitely like it. Like you said, you're getting Quickly's a talented guy. I was kind of worried about it at first for them when his tweet came out, where it looked like he was responding. He found out about the trade on Twitter. I don't know if you heard about that, Caleb. Where like I don't remember
No.
what he said. I'm sure I can bring it up. I'm gonna take this off the screen so that I can go find it. But quickly was rather shocked to find out that he had been traded to Toronto, and I think that knowing the past of players not wanting to play here, I mean, or not wanting to play up in Toronto, it's not something that would have been that shocking, I guess, if he had not necessarily wanted to play here.
Yeah.
Give me a minute, I'm looking for it. Caleb Stahl. I'll
Oh
find it.
wow, I know so much about basketball.
Yeah, I'm finding it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think
You can thank. You can
the big
shout
like,
out clutch points.
oh, there we go. We got the tweet.
We got the tweet. It's a little blurry on my screen. Hopefully, it's not that blurry. But it was.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Where it's just, it looked like he was responding to it on Twitter, which I think is not a good sign when you're trading for a player. When that player goes, "Oh, I was traded." Well, live on the internet, probably not a good thing, but it's looked
No,
like you said, he has been pretty good for the Raptors. Hopefully, he continues to be good for the Raptors. Um, I don't know. I don't have too much to say on this, honestly. I think you hit on it really well on just the fact that one team that needs to get young is getting younger, one team that needs to get better is getting better. And I think Anunoby is one of those guys who can really help any team just with how good of a just defensive forward he is. You're also bringing on another really good forward or I believe he plays power forward or center, and Precious Achua. And Flynn has been good at points for the Raptors. I don't think you can be mad at it if you're either team. I think both
yeah.
teams are just getting better from this one. Nothing too controversial.
To your point about Anunoby being a great defensive player, I got a stat here that he is plus 74 in the 106 minutes he's played as a New York Knick, which is the highest plus minus for any NBA player in
Wow.
history for the first 3 games for his franchise. So
Holy.
uh,
AT having a
obviously,
pretty good
obviously it's
start.
turning out pretty well, and it is kind of like that also. There's the side of it in terms of the Raptors getting younger and the Knicks getting better, like you phrased it. It's also just in terms of what they need, because the Raptors needed a little bit more of a retooled offense, and quickly's kind of providing that, whereas the Knicks needed a little bit more help on the defensive side of the ball, and I think um, each player kind of just fits in a little bit better into their new system than they did their old system, and it provides a little bit more of like a skill set difference, because I don't think the talent gap is all that big between the players that were swapped here.
Yeah.
There obviously is one, but it's not the biggest. It's just about where those
Well,
talents
one's just
lie and how those
more of
kind
a
of match up.
veteran. Like you
Yeah,
can sit here and go, OG is gonna give you exactly what OG has given you for the last couple seasons, and you don't necessarily have that with players like RG Barrett. And I mean, it works out how it works out, right? With those younger guys, you never know what they'll develop into. But so far, it's looked good for the Raptors, and it's looked good for the Knicks. So,
yeah,
but then again, like you said, only 3 games gone since this trade happened. So a lot can happen for the rest of the season. You never really know. By the time this episode could come out, we could end up looking stupid for saying both teams won this. But
we'll see. We'll see.
we'll
It
see.
is a kind of thing that you have to watch play out over a season.
Yep,
That's going to be the biggest thing,
yep, for sure. I don't.
especially in a sport like basketball.
I feel like we're just basically stalling on this one. We're spinning in the water a little bit. But yeah, I think we kind of hit on it a little bit too early, but we still hit on it nonetheless. Very much win-win trade.